What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Podcast, episode 240. I'm here with Griffin.
I'm here with Trev.
And we're getting our Venom covered feet in the sand with Adam.
So we watched Venom.
Finally. It didn't. I mean, I went on vacation in October. The film had been out for, maybe a month when I went and watched it. So, and then it's here. We got an early access screener. The
Thanks
studio was
Sony.
kind to us. Sony, they heard the fuck Sony campaign,
Which is still active.
They decided to throw us a bone, as you do. So, but yeah, I went to the theaters and watched this on vacation, and I don't remember if I said it on the podcast or not. Yeah, right. I can't remember if I said it on the podcast or if I just said it to you guys while we were doing other stuff, but there was some very questionable decisions on how they did some of this stuff, and they could have extended the movie out by, I don't know, 15 to 30 more minutes.
Yeah, you could tell they cut it down. Well, by even seeing that there's extended scenes now.
Yeah, right.
So for sure.
I think once again, and I feel like this just getting the low-hanging fruit out of the way, it suffers from the same problem the first movie had, in that you have these insanely grotesque-looking symbiotes that are comic accurate and look phenomenal, but when they attack something, not a drop of blood.
Yeah.
And I know that's a small nitpick, but these are extremely violent characters that we're watching.
Yeah. On both sides.
So aesthetically, you would think, you're going to see some stuff.
Like, even when they would bite the heads off, they would turn.
Even keep it mild, or even do the classic, don't show it on screen, and instead give us a wall splatter or a window splatter or something,
Let me see if y'all picked this up. So I'm like, I better get that movie on because, it's going to be 2 hours, right? So I look at it and I'm like, it was like an hour and 37 or something.
Yeah.
And I think most of that's credits at the little telling of it. But while I was watching it, the way it started, okay?
Yeah.
So I was sitting here watching it, and I had to check the year that this movie came out, because it felt like it came out about 15 years ago, maybe even earlier than that. Do y'all know what I mean? It had that.
Yeah.
It was almost like we were watching a movie from 1999.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
You know what I'm saying? The way that they tried to lay it out, I was like, whoa, this is old school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Very questionable decisions.
And that shit they show us at the beginning, we didn't have to see that to get that what was going on later on. Like that little piece there, which seemed cut down.
Well, it's almost like whenever they did the whole thing with them in the house, Cletus and Shriek, for some reason I was like, is this a fucking Schumacher Batman movie I'm watching right now?
I know, right?
Several scenes do, like when he walks up to that tree and he's like, found a clue. There's a heart here with their initials in it.
I wonder what it means.
Yeah. And it's like,
I saw this
cheesy.
in one. Yeah.
And I hate it because I feel like it was almost a not a worst case scenario, but pretty fucking close, and that Carnage was a wasted villain.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, like that whole, remember he was like, that's a red one. I don't want to fight the red one. And he was like, you can eat anybody you want to eat. And he was like, promise? And then he was all about it. It was like, okay.
Well, and also, and I think that plays into the fact that I think that Sony is afraid to get a lot of lore going.
Yeah.
Because of the looming Spider-Man stuff,
Yeah, because they don't know. Because, I mean, it would appear at the end of the movie that we'll be seeing Venom. I mean, he's laying in bed and he gets pulled into this other world, it looked like, all of a sudden. And he licks Spider-Man. He's like, Spider-Man, It's like, how do you know him?
I did think that, I think one of the worst things in the movie was, instead of, because it made it really fucked up when Carnage would start referring to Venom as father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
Venom didn't give birth to him. Cletus bit Eddie, and like,
yeah, he never tasted no blood like that before.
Thought I grappled with that a little bit when it happened, and I was like, that's fucking stupid.
Like that's all you had to do to transfer it.
It wasn't. It wasn't. I don't know, and it's not like the creation of Carnage like that is some ridiculous spectacle, but you know they could have done it right, and I think that was a problem that was created by the original film.
Woody Harrelson kind of got shafted.
Yeah, because we all know, and anyone, and especially people that are so far that keep themselves removed from these fucking superhero films that watch Woody Harrelson movies, we know he can play a psychotic motherfucker.
Yeah, right. Natural born killers, baby.
Yeah, and knowing that this role was more or less tailor made for probably maybe a younger Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, but Woody Harrelson nonetheless.
No, absolutely.
Nice hair.
Yeah.
I really hate that. I really hate that they kind of that, like you said, Griffin. There's a lot of questionable decisions.
Yeah. Well, in terms of the filmmaking, right? How are you going to introduce a powerhouse villain like Carnage, even if Spider-Man's not involved in it? It's just going to take place in the Venom film. First of all, why are you doing that as the second film? That's the first question. Second question, why are you only going to have them come into contact with one another one time, and that's when they fight? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like it's already an hour and 20-minute long movie, and there's a lot of chuffa that they could have completely fucking got rid of.
A lot. Like, and then there was certain areas they fucked up. Like whenever they separate.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all motherfuckers were separated for like 2 hours and you're acting like it's some big reunion. Like,
yeah,
it was nothing.
They treated it like Tenacious D breaking up.
Yeah.
Him in the nightclub, though. I mean, it was funny. There was some funny shit in the movie. Yeah. Him arguing with him. It was more of a comedy.
Yeah. And I mean, and for all the good, even with the scene of him at the rave, you know, that just echoes a lot of what the film was already, the film's message as a whole is that Eddie needs to be okay with the fact that it's going to be him and Venom for the long haul. And having that whole moment where Venom's, you know, where they kind of dwell on that a little bit and everything. You know, for the most part, whatever, that was okay. I get it. Message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Sonny and
but
Cher.
but there's, I guess, because this goes, I don't know, I guess it goes to show you that Sony and Marvel, you could tell it just doesn't have the Feige touch.
Well,
yeah, the writers.
Yeah, I mean it.
Well, you can tell through the script that they at least read Maximum Carnage and Venom versus Carnage, and I think they covered some of the stuff from the animated series or from the original Amazing Spider-Man, maybe.
Yeah.
But you can tell that somebody sat down and actually read the comics, but I think that's all they did.
Yeah.
was read those and stuff, and I don't know.
Yeah, so here's what I would have done. If it would have been me and I would have been directing or writing this, like if you're gonna have the whole thing with the ex-fiance moving on and finding yeah, to me that's okay. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna do that. But here's how you pigeonhole this whole thing, right? Like that was the perfect opportunity. Whenever Venom or whenever Carnage goes to get that bitch, right? That would have been the perfect opportunity for the first fight for Venom to get his fucking ass beat.
Yeah. And then and then had to find himself to.
Yeah.
You know.
They could have used that, him getting beat, and then like Eddie and
the multiple
Venom
showdown approach would have absolutely benefited the movie.
Yeah. But they could have used that idea instead of them getting frustrated at one another and Venom leaving. They could have had that be the breaking point. That would have been a split
where he's like, "We got to beat him," and he's like, "I can't." So they argue and he leaves.
Yeah, and they could have blamed one another.
Better than arguing over. I don't even remember
and
chickens and TV.
Yeah,
and it's not Woody Harrelson's. It's not his fault as an actor because he was just doing what the script was telling him, but they kind of fucked Carnage's character up in a way.
In a fucking gigantic way.
In a ginormous way. I was trying to keep the lid a little bit, but if you want to blow the top, let's do it.
Yeah.
They fucking butchered this motherfucker.
Yeah, they fucked Carnage up.
First off, he didn't give a fuck about Shriek. Not in the book, not no way, not no fucking how. She was just a tool.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all she fucking was, and they tried to make it be, oh, my love. Oh,
I have a question about her. So she was in the book and shit. So she's like a mutant, right? I mean, it appears to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how clever. It's like, oh, your girlfriend just happens to be able to scream really loud, which these things don't like.
Yeah, right. I know.
I knew that motherfucker was going to hurt her, and that was going to cause them to kind of have an issue.
Well, there's rampant spousal abuse throughout the entire run of Maximum Carnage. Like, Carnage is smacking that bitch around the whole fucking story.
Yeah.
They let you know that, like, they have this weird... It's almost like they read it and was like, they're kind of like natural born killers. And they hire Woody Harrelson. They're like, well, we want to keep him on board, so let's not make it feel like he's doing the same role again. So let's just not do that.
Yeah.
And making Kasady have, like, expanding on his whole backstory was a mistake. Because even though they didn't do it wrong in the terms that he was just, typical serial killer, origin.
With this woman.
It was, it was just like, it was so written off in the book as like, you get it. He's fucking evil. He's crazy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poetry.
But they tried to make it to where there was more motivation for Kasady and making them not gel. Because I think the thing, maybe Griffin might agree with me too, that's the biggest sin on this whole thing, is that in the movie, the whole downfall of Carnage is that Kasady and the Carnage symbiote they're not symbiotic. When in the comic universe, that's entirely the opposite.
Yeah, they are the most symbiotic.
Yes, like Carnage is in his fucking blood. Like they are fucking thick as thieves.
Yeah, they're on the same page every fucking turn of the way. And even in little small arcs where they've had disagreements, they've always come to the conclusion that killing more people makes everything better.
Yeah, level up, and power up, he said when he bit that priest head off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they have this big scene where, Carnage is just wholesale slaughtering people. And I think it's the scene where he gets a hold of the girl and he's ascending the top of that building. And as he's doing it, it's just fucking people up along the way.
I think that was in the prison.
Okay, yeah. Well,
there wasn't nobody to fight around the building other than Venom.
Because the way Maximum Carnage, that comic starts is it's him about to get put down.
Yeah.
He fucking turns into Carnage.
That part was cool.
Swiggity swooty, he fucking killed some booty and walks the fuck out,
Yeah. I mean, they completely fucked it up in a way where it's just like, and to me, like, and I know that we haven't done it on the pod, and I know that Adam hasn't seen it or whatever, but this film suffers from the same exact thing that Black Panther suffered from.
I was about to say that they turned Carnage into a throwaway villain.
Yeah. Well, and
just
like
a throwaway.
Yeah. And then they kill him at the end.
Throwaway,
they fucking kill him, and then
that pissed me off.
I was so fucking frustrated. I was like, you have one of the greatest Marvel villains that has no rhyme or reason, that is just a fucking murder machine, and you're gonna kill him in an hour and 20 minutes.
And it sucks because now now granted, just because he's shown up in this movie, that doesn't mean he can't show up in the MCU universe now.
Yeah,
of course. So we do have a saving grace.
Yeah.
because what boils down to making Carnage so good is the same reason why the scene with Daredevil and Punisher on the rooftop was so good. It's because they are complete polar fucking opposites.
Yes, exactly.
And there's this case where Carnage is just wholesale, rampant slaughter, fucking just wasting everybody. And Spider-Man is like saving motherfuckers, like the yin to the yang.
Yeah.
And that dynamic in the storytelling is what makes that fucking him as a villain clashing with Spider-Man and including Venom as well. It's what makes these ridiculous characters and their story actually fucking compelling.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you take that yin and yang out and you have like Venom is the absolute middle ground. And then you have Carnage, who is is madness, is just fucking insanity, personified. You don't have that. You don't have good.
You sadly don't waste him on an anti-hero.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if you're gonna kill him at the end of the battle.
Yeah.
It would be one thing if they battled and they have their story arc because, they have their whole fight in Venom versus Carnage, which was leading to the toxin suit, which I'm wondering, is that was the cop? Was that a hint to toxin?
Yeah, because that's the same Duggan or whatever. I can't remember but that's the same character from the books. That's toxin.
And see, that's badass that they did that, but it's also bullshit because the whole reason why he becomes toxin and why he's able to not be crazier than Carnage is because the officer not only is, the whole pure of heart aspect to characterization, but also because that cop is 100% inspired by Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that's not in the story. It's not given to you. None of that shit. So it falls flat and just hopes that you bank on him just being, man, he's a cop that's been in this for so long. Give him a symbiote. Give this guy a suit. You get a suit. You get a suit. Everyone gets a symbiote.
Yeah. Yeah, you're 100,000% right. Like it's just like, look, I get what they were going for, and I appreciate the effort. Like, but at the same,
I never thought I would see either of these characters comic book accurate, at least aesthetically, on screen. I'll give it that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I don't know. They should have held off. They should have introduced Carnage. They should have had kind of the overarching theme of this middle film be, if they wanted to do the thing where Eddie and Venom are disagreeing and he quote unquote loses his powers and like your stereotypical second superhero film, they should have had him going up against another villain, but they should have kept the Cletus Kasady overarching thing happening where he was going to the prison and he was interviewing them and you kind of saw him. Yeah, because I did like
hot on his trail about the shit he did. Like
I did like how they treated the Eddie Brock / Cletus Kasady relationship. I did enjoy that. And I think that if that would have drug out a little bit longer, and I know it's not a television series, but I know that they could have drugged that out for a whole movie and they could have actually had, those two characters become enemies before they're even enemies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Over the course of events that happen.
Well, if you think about the events of the first film and the events of this movie, what they're doing is they're exchanging the Carnage aspect because they've already given us all these different symbiotes. I know that they're building up to where eventually we're probably going to see the planet of the symbiotes.
Yeah.
Like they're building up for the cosmic shit that to my knowledge has only recently been like in circulation. Like they've just now gotten to where like that shit's a thing. That stuff exists in the universe now.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like they swapped it out because I don't know, maybe it's just me, but to me Carnage was a multi-film, like there could have been a trilogy of just Venom and Carnage fighting it out.
Oh yeah, certainly.
Especially, they could have done that and found a way to negotiate with Marvel Studios to be able to actually include Spider-Man, because if we had a 3-part film series where we get Spider-Man versus Venom, and then Carnage is born in like, you know, a supporting thing in the background, and then movie 2, Carnage is a fucking big ass deal. Because they could have made a trilogy where movie 1 we get Venom, we get Eddie Brock Venom, we establish why he hates Peter Parker. You know, we don't have to have the spiel Spider-Man. He can just show the fuck up Civil War style, because everyone get it, you know?
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that in the narrative. You know, little shit here and there, but for the most part, establish that. They fight it out throughout the movie. Let the birth of Carnage be the reason why Venom doesn't kill Spider-Man and vice versa and all that shit. They put Carnage away and put Cletus in jail. Movie 2, we get the jail breakout scene. Have that be, make it go Empire Strikes Back, cause some shit to happen, let it end on a downer. Nobody, you know, the hero doesn't die, but the villain lives. And then circle back with 3, where they finally have their big fight, where the circle's starting to go full, like come around completely. Carnage is about to give birth to Toxin. We get into some symbiote lore. Bam! In the film with fighting them, we get the surprise Toxin show up, and end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even if this dude shows up in Spider-Man, there's gonna be so many people that there's just you're not gonna get much screen time. Like, there's gonna be a fight, you know, and that's it. It may not even get that. I don't know, but it seems that way.
Yeah.
The chick that played Frances, she needs to stick with like Money Penny roles. Just this, I was the whole time. Every time she was on screen, I was just like, "Oh no, what are you?
Yeah,
this is cheesy."
Yeah,
I just didn't like it.
Well, it was
her
still
acting there was just.
Well, it's like they took a story that has much more darker and more mature themes that exists in Marvel, and decided to adapt everything but those parts.
Yeah.
And that's what we got. And you know, like I agreed with Griff earlier. I'm glad we got it. I mean, I'd rather have a Carnage movie than one without it, but it could have been better. And it's a shame, because Andy Serkis did a good job directing it. The movie had great shots. Like, there were, you know, and I get why they hired him in terms of mocap, because apparently all the fucking Carnage stuff, all the Venom stuff, I reckon that was all Tom Hardy and Harrelson.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I like the Venom voice. I like what they did there, you know?
Yeah.
But what was this fucking Carnage voice about? Like, that's not.
Apparently that was Harrelson.
Like, but whenever I think of Carnage, like when I think of Venom's voice, I think of a deeper, you know, kind of what they go for.
Like, I was listening, I had good bass, and Venom's voice sounds so good, y'all. On a subwoofer. Like, every time he talked, it was like, hell yeah, you know?
Yeah.
And then you get this other fuck, and it's like.
Carnage, to me, when I read him, I imagine it sounding like a black metal singer.
Yes, exact. Very high pitch, right?
Like, yeah, not even really belting out, but just like, you know, evil. You know, like, you know, like take Skeletor and maybe drop a little enthusiasm and add a little more guttural.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, exactly. That's why, and it's kind of a turnoff in my opinion, because it's like, you know, I like the Venom voice. I like what they went for. It makes sense. I was expecting something way more higher pitched and a little bit more more nasally to an extent. And I know that that's fucking weird and nitpicky, but at the same time, it's just like he's just like, father, and it's just like, who the fuck?
The way he's presented in the books, it's just, I don't know. You think of almost like your classic evil, high pitched evil voice, disembodied kind of. and they went for it. It's just Woody Harrelson's, but it's like it could. I don't know. I wasn't thrown off 100% by it, but I was like, that's not what I imagined he'd sound like. But okay, I get it. He's in the host of this actor. This is what his voice sounds like. Like I did the mental gymnastics to be like, okay, whatever at this point in the movie. But I do agree.
Yeah.
Well, I think I found where the issue lies. I found the issue.
Did Kathleen Kennedy have something to do with it?
It may be worse than that. So check this out. The story is by Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy came up with this story.
Okay.
He's got the writer credit by story by Tom Hardy. So, and then you're gonna need someone to turn that into a screenplay. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
So we're gonna bring in Kelly Marcel. Kelly Marcel wrote Cruella, 50 Shades of Grey, Saving Mr. Banks, and did several episodes of Terra Nova. Yeah, why? Look, dude, Tom Hardy, don't anymore. Just act, dude. You're good at that. He's got a few writer credits, and this is his only like movie. But this was his idea where he was like, I got this idea, and him and this woman worked together on it. It's like, okay.
In Homeboy's defense,
she also wrote the other Venom too.
I will tip the hat to Tom Hardy because now we know who read the Venom and Carnage stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Like when he did his character research to look up what the dude was about, you absolutely could tell he read Maximum Carnage.
Yeah. Well, and here's what it feels like to me. It feels like he wrote a story and he's like, here's the points. Yeah, here's the points I want to hit. And then it feels like to me, and they injected, they're like, we have to bring back this chick because it was the fiance and y'all aren't together anymore. Who gives a fuck? Like, unless that's going to be impactful to the story, which it really wasn't. Like,
I think it's because we all know at the end of the day they had to fill in all the parts that would have otherwise been, hey, here's what Spider-Man's doing while that was going on.
Yeah.
But by her being there, it didn't make me feel like the stakes were even higher.
No,
we're already in fucking shambles here, you know?
Yeah.
Whether she's here or not.
And I loved all the callbacks to like, I love that they let Lady Venom show up again.
Yeah, I was okay with that.
Little stuff like that, like when you go into like Venom, the actual comic book, and because I feel like that's where some of the divisiveness happens. You have fans that like Venom and Carnage as Spider-Man adversaries, and then you got those people that are like, dude, I read Venom, or like that type of shit.
Yeah. It's just so many misplays in this situation, man, in my opinion, because like, I don't know, it suffered from the fact that like, I don't know if their idea the whole time going into it was, we're going to make this film, it's going to have Carnage in it because we introduced Cletus Kasady in the last film at the very end of it and all that good shit. But it's like, okay, if you do that's fine. Like, if you're going to go with the Carnage story, then that's fine. Don't kill Carnage. It feels like we went a long way around just to find out, and it wasn't really even that long, just to find out that now Venom is part of the MCU for right now. And to me, it's like
that's something too. Whenever that cutscene or when that credit scene happened, while I'm like, okay, cool. Here's how Tom Hardy can be up against Tom Holland, whatever. It immediately it's a prime example of why it was a good thing that Doctor Strange did not show up at the end of WandaVision, because now everything in the movie we watched doesn't matter now. Like, not a bit of it. Because now that they've hopped over into that other universe, whether that was just Venom being like, hey, here's what we can do, and we just happen to show up here, part of me is like, no, they just phased the fuck out.
Yeah, right.
Which, I like, once again, I haven't read any of the newer symbiote stuff. I didn't know that was something that motherfucker could do. Like, so when it happened, I'm like, huh?
Yeah. Well, here's what I will say. Like you said, there's still another Cletus Kasady in the MCU universe, right?
Surely.
And we don't have confirmation of symbiotes or anything else like that in the current MCU universe. If they're going to use Venom as the way to, whether he has any interaction, like Tom Hardy's version of Venom has any interaction with Tom Holland or anything like that, it leaves the door open enough to where they could, by all means, set it up to where this is how the symbiotes get into the MCU. You know, this is how things can go and progress forward. They could introduce a whole new Eddie Brock. They could introduce a whole new Cletus Kasady if they wanted to go that route.
And it would be interesting if they did
that.
His
hand.
We'll check. Well, here's what. Yeah.
That's all you gotta do.
Here's. But because of that though, that it would be cool to have that little bit of cinematic like connection where it's like, okay, even though we have Tom Hardy's Venom back in the Sonyverse, and he was only briefly in this whole multiverse event, if he takes a hit and loses some of the, Venom, loses some blood, Venom can now infect the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
and it's all the same Venom, but it can, they can cast somebody else as Eddie Brock.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that is kind of like a silver lining to the whole situation. That because to me, it feels like it's the safe bet where it's like, if people aren't happy with Venom, let there be Carnage. Which I mean, it did make money and everything for sure. But if people weren't happy with it, or if Sony and Disney can't agree on what they want to do with both of the characters and all this kind of stuff, then Marvel, like Feige, can do his own thing, and then Tom Hardy and company over there at Sony can continue to do their own thing and not step on each other's toes. So that is one thing that I'm happy about, because that's an easy way to get it into the MCU without having to do like the long explanation to it.
Yeah.
Because, if they introduce like the Beyonder and Battle World and all that kind of stuff, then that would be an easy way for them to introduce it, kinda. But you would still have to explain a lot away,
Well, that adds, but it overall, with the multiverse event happening and that phase going on, it does one, and this is, I guess, what you would consider it a plus. This makes the villain element a little more horrifying in the fact that if they stop the bad guy in the film and he dies, okay, whatever, day saved, good deal. That person can always show back up from whatever circumstance.
Yeah. And that's like the only caveat to that is like how long they're going to continue this multiverse trek.
I think, which I mean, we all know it's going to build up to where when the Avengers are going to have to assemble to stop Kang.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we know that's the goalpost we're working towards now.
Yeah.
It's the next.
At least that's what I'm thinking. Because that seems to, yeah.
So, on the whole, like I was hoping that my second viewing would be like, I would get kind of more sucked into it, but like the whole time I'm just like, why are they doing this? And why are they doing this? And who thought this was a good idea? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. With that being said, I'm giving it a 0.5 star all day long. The movie wasn't terrible.
No.
I think that Tom Hardy's performance as Eddie Brock in Venom is entertaining, fun, and also kind of scary to a degree of being scary. But it's just the execution of that story, all in all, was just not well done, in my opinion. It was nice to see our first on-screen Carnage, but it's kind of like the first time that we saw Venom on screen.
Yeah.
It's like, we finally got him, but they fucked the story up. You know what I mean? Like they fucked it up. So that's kind of how and I don't hate Spider-Man 3. It's not the best Spider-Man by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't hate it.
If you look at it as a total, if you look at it with the Tommy Wiseau approach, it's gold.
Yeah. So But that's where I'm standing with it. I think it's a half-star film, and they could retcon some of this stuff with the whole um, MCU multiverse kind of stuff. And if they do that, and if that's their goal this whole time, with them killing them and kind of having this like rush together, like we're gonna meet and fight, like then maybe it'll make more sense in the future. But right now, how it stands on its own right this second, half star.
Half star.
I agree.
All day.
It sucks because this is the second week in a row where a character that I give a shit about, I've had to watch them die on screen. And I was pretty butthurt about Bond. And this kind of eased it a little bit amongst some other viewings. But yeah, half star.
It says action, adventure, sci-fi. They need to add comedy to that.
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Comedy needs to be on there. Because this movie was funny.
Well, I'll also tack a little asterisk that my comment from the first episode where we did Venom, this movie, you can tell with its cinematography, from its marketing, from its whole thing, the way it's made, it's a Fast and Furious movie, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure.
I read one of the comments that said that it was almost like Andy Serkis. It's almost like he was trying to, in the time it would take you to read a comic book, because you're going through it pretty fast.
Yeah,
it's just
for
fast.
Sure,
you know, you're going through it, you're done, it's over before you know it.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, but we don't do that.
Yeah.
It had a budget of like a little over 100 million. It made almost 470. So
yeah,
they'll probably make another one. You know, I mean,
part 3's on the way.
Yeah, that's almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
But I am excited to see if Feige and company can get a hold of it, what they do. We might get a small cameo, but it might be a badass one, you know? Like,
yeah. Well, and
I mean, Zack Snyder has shown us, amongst a lot of things that he's shown us, that you can take a character and redeem him in just a few short lines, and he did it with Jared Leto's Joker. So,
yeah,
you know, if that can happen in the world of superheroes and filmmaking, you know, we can get a redemption of this conflict.
For sure. And how crazy would it be if they use the Let There Be Carnage as like basically the film was just an introduction of Carnage.
Let it be the build up to explain.
Yeah, and then they're actually gonna do
maybe even recast what Carnage.
Yeah. I mean, because think about, like, now they've introduced him. Now everybody knows what his
Carnage
deal
can
is.
be anyone.
Yeah. And if they could bring a bigger, badder Carnage over, and you could have that whole Maximum Carnage story play out. You have Venom versus Spider-Man, then them having to, bear together in order to take Carnage out, and they could take it into that direction. Of course, it's not going to be R-rated or anything, but still they could take it into a little bit more of a mature direction, but make him a villain that like is just, completely balls out.
Well,
you know what I mean?
He was wrapping around that building. I was like, damn, Venom can't do that.
Yeah,
like,
right.
And he was shooting the things.
Yeah.
I was like, he's a badass.
Yeah. Definitely a badass.
And dude was fucking Venom up.
Yeah.
And then all it took was screaming a bell.
Yeah.
That whole time that bell was ringing, like they would fight for a minute, then they turn back into their cells, fight for a minute. I was like, is somebody gonna stop the fucking bell or not? Like,
yeah,
stop the bell.
Yeah,
we've done this like 5 times and it's getting old. Like, let's.
I'll
grab the thing and beat you with it. Like,
yeah, right. The funniest part of the film to me was whenever Carnage is standing up there and he's like, "I'm gonna kill you, Father." And he's like, "Not you."
Yeah.
It was just so dry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just the perfect British humor for just a split second, that was fucking hilarious because it's like, it's funny. It's unintentionally funny, but you know what I mean? Like that type of humor. Yeah, a little cheeky.
What was that they
cheeky
called
British humor.
themselves? Something, was it something Defender? What was it?
The Lethal Defenders.
Yeah, the Lethal Defender.
Lethal Protectors.
Protect. That's it. He was
I don't
like,
know why I'm wanting to say Defenders too.
Yeah, I don't know why. He was like, we need a mask and a cape, and he's like, I think you got the mask part covered.
Yeah, right.
Venom was funny though. And
yeah.
Give it up for Tom Hardy for the accent.
Yeah, I know,
like,
right?
I believed him.
Yeah. He looks like he is fucking strung out. Like Venom stressing him out that much. You know what I mean?
We
like
was cooking.
Yeah. Oh
he's
my
just
God.
Over here like, oh God. It's like, do we leave the windows open all the time? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I know, right? So
5-star.
Yeah. You want to get into some Dexter real quick before we hit the movie news?
Yeah.
So last week, I found Maddie. He called me, So now, we
get
a little
figure with that. It's like, oh, he's hiding something. And then we were like, he's got to be the guy.
Yeah.
That's killing the girl. And now know he's taking the girl down there. He gave her the chance, though. He's like, you want a job? She was like, I need fast money. And he's like, okay. I guess I'll kill you.
Yeah.
So with Harrison over here, like, he took this kid out before he could do something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Dexter has figured that out.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have the talk soon, I hope.
I'm sure.
Hope they don't wait till like the end of the season. It's like, let's go ahead and get this talk out of the way, because
yeah. Well, and it's like now, since Dexter knows, it's like now he really, 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 really has to make a decision, because he could affect this kid's life astronomically from how he approaches this situation.
Yeah, and he's kind of already on a good path.
Yeah,
like what he did there was a good thing.
Yeah. So if he approached it in the way where it's like, look, if he tells Harrison, he's like, I know, that he didn't attack you first, that you attacked him first, and all this kind of stuff.
I found the razor blade.
Yeah. Then they have the talk about it where it's like, okay, like what you did was not technically a bad thing, but what you should have done, like he could break Dexter alone in his hands has the Play-Doh of Harrison's fucking life. And if he tells him about the code and about himself and all this other shit, then that fucking clay is going to turn into another murderer.
Mm-hmm.
Or he could turn him into the most brilliant detective. You know what I mean?
They're going to solve the crime of this dude.
I think so. Yeah.
Like they're going to have their talk, whatever they decide to do there, and then I think they'll work together to figure out what's going on with this other guy. Like,
yeah,
because Harrison's pretty smart.
Very smart, yeah.
When he pulls out the straight razor and it cuts to the scene, he was like, "That's what killed his mom." And you see him pulling him out of the blood, and it's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
He's like, "I told you, fucking Deb."
Yeah, you fucking bitch.
Yeah, get out of my head.
always raising hell and shit. I'm very interested to see how they approach this situation, because, like, really, this is either going to make people love Dexter, like love Dexter, or hate Dexter.
What I worry about is that they do all of this, and then it's like everybody loves the show. The show was great, and then they're like, "Well, guess what?
We're coming back.
There's going to be a Harrison TV show." I'm like, "No, don't do that," because you know how they are when they find something that. It's just like you're rebooting Dexter, pretty much.
Yeah,
well, now
exactly.
It's his son.
Yeah,
and we're going through high school and college.
Yeah.
He didn't kill the kid. He just stopped him before he went there.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully Dexter makes the right decision, and things are okay. But I have a feeling that he's going to go the opposite direction with him.
Well, hopefully Harris doesn't think that Dexter killed his mother, and that's why he's been hiding all these years.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We don't know what the full story he knows.
Yeah. So, But we'll see. I mean, I like the direction that they've been going so far with it, and like, you know, do you think that Dexter's going to die?
Most likely.
Yeah, I mean, it's a high. You know, we're leaning that way.
Yeah.
And will it be at the hands of Harrison? Maybe not, but maybe the guy.
I don't think that
he'll take the fall for Harrison.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever they start fucking with the dude, and then because that was weird when that guy shows up at the house and he's like, "I got a gift for him. He's a hero," and I was like, "This is weird." Like,
yeah, what the fuck is happening?
Well, it was almost like he was, you know, putting the dude in check, and then him saying like he was like, well, he wasn't, you know, he didn't mean to crash that boat. And he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "God damn it, Dexter, fucking slipping, old man."
Yeah, right. So
I wouldn't be mad at it if he died.
Nah.
I would be okay. And if he sacrifices himself for Harrison, I mean, that's the noblest of noble.
Even outside of the narrative, I feel like, you know, as much as Michael C. Hall probably loves that character and loved playing it, I think, you know what I mean? I feel like he's probably done with Dexter now.
He has
like this was
career in music now.
Does he?
You know, this is his big return to the role, and you know,
he's the lead singer of a band.
So I mean, he's looking at it in musical terms. This is his encore, and then show's over.
You remember those theories we used to have about Cha?
Yeah.
If you see him perform live, even more so. You know what I'm saying?
Might be a little
I mean, the lipstick is a dead giveaway, you know? Like, just
right.
I don't know.
But hey, I mean, you know, I still think that like he would be a great villain in like an MCU. You know what I mean?
He's a great actor.
I think
he's got Dexter down to a T.
I think he would be good as Dr. Doom.
You know, when you got him showing up with a Texas accent.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, what is this?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm grasping at straws here, but I could see him play a good Cletus Kasady.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Dude, Michael Chaw as
Carnage?
Sentry. No, Sentry.
Sentry.
And the Void. Could you fucking imagine?
Dude.
Yeah, see? Right?
Yeah.
That would be perfect. Yeah, dude. And he's already like, I mean, he looks good. He is older, but
he's aged, but not much.
Like, no, the only time you can tell is when they cut back to season 1 footage.
When they show him grabbing Harrison, it's like, yeah, you get a little older.
Well, like the way he talks to the Dark Passenger and the way he he kind of voices it back in his own narration.
Yeah.
I think you could translate Sentry into something like that.
Yeah, because the Void could always be fucking with him. Like his Dark Passenger. You know what I mean? That's an easy translation to make, and it would make sense. But, you know, I don't know if they'll go that route with it. But that would be a great series, though, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But anyway.
Or just, it would be cool if the way they did a Sentry film was let it be, you know, let it be like another set of Heroes films, but like have coming to the conclusion that Sentry and Void are one and the same, be the twist of them finding out what the fuck's going on, you know?
Yeah, right.
The name of his band is Princess Goes to the Butterfly Museum. Okay?
Uh-huh.
It's like almost like a super group. It's got one of the members from the Wallflowers and somebody else that played in Blondie.
Oh.
I think maybe a newer Blondie member, not someone that was in the band in the 70s, but I heard it and it was like, okay, it's like a 80s synth pop, electro boy, you know.
I am Electro Girl.
Like, does he talk like this and it's more like The Cure?
Yeah, kind of. He does
Like
some
it's
singing.
goth, it's like goth rock or
He'll
something.
have like his fingernails will be painted, and he has like mascara on. You know, he goes all in. He's just playing a role.
Yeah, it's a
Playing rock
part.
star.
Yeah, because we all
the
just
way
want to be.
the way you said that, that would be a good that'd be a good bit of dialogue for like a scene where two people are debating the main character and they're at the bar talking about him, you know, and like you're getting up like right as you're getting up to leave from the conversation, you're like, yeah, you know, you take the last hit of the drink, and you're like, yeah, he's just playing a character, and then you walk the fuck off, you know.
Yeah,
Just playing a part.
I found that out. Remember back when we found out that there was going to be another Dexter season?
Yeah,
I saw an interview on YouTube that was like, you know, Michael C. Hall talks about season of Dexter, and it's a Zoom call, and he's sitting there with his two band members. Now, really, their interview it's about the band, but of
Like pulls a
course,
Billy Bob.
yeah, of course, you're gonna say, well, what about the show? And you could kind of tell, like, he answered the questions, but that's not
but
what
he
he was there
wasn't
to
there for
talk
that.
about.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, you know, I don't know much, and he's, you know, because he's always real nice.
Yeah, Michael Chaw.
Yeah.
So, y'all want to hit a little bit of movie news here?
Oh yeah.
So, Peter Jackson's digital 4K restorations of his early horror films, including Dead Alive, coming soon.
Here's your chance.
Before going mainstream with Lord of the Rings films, Peter Jackson was a horror guy, kickstarting his career with the gory flicks Dead Alive and Bad Taste. Despite being beloved by horror fans, neither film has to date been restored and re-released. But Jackson himself has revealed way back in 2018, you may recall that 4K restorations were in the works. Additionally, he teased that Meet the Feebles and Heavenly Creatures were going to be restored in 4K by the WETA digital VFX team as well, potentially for a big old box set release. He said, I've done some tests on Brain Dead, aka Dead Alive, where we took the 16 millimeter negative and put it through our restoration pipeline, and shit, it looks fantastic.
That's the best response you could give someone about it. Like,
yeah. Jackson told THR at the time, I'm pretty keen to actually just get them back out there again. That's sort of my plan for now, to do a nice little box set. The early years, the naughty years. I've always had video diaries being shot. Jackson also explained, so I've got about an hour or two of us shooting Bad Taste, 7 or 8 hours of us shooting Meet the Feebles, 50 to 60 hours of us filming Brain Dead, and at least 70 hours of us doing Heavenly Creatures. And it's not just people talking to camera. It's actually a guy on the set filming us making the film. So there's some pretty interesting stuff there, and none of it has ever been out. Dude.
There you go, man.
I would probably grab that.
Yeah, I would grab that box set just for Dead Alive.
Yeah.
That was such a pleasant surprise, you know?
For sure.
Well, you looked online for it.
Yeah.
Hard to get. Looked at video stores.
Yeah, I don't think I told Trav this. So we stopped at McKay's in Knoxville, right?
Yeah.
Look, every time I go to McKay's, I look for it. Looked for it there, didn't find it. We're in Gatlinburg, and there used to be a record store, you know, in downtown Gatlinburg, and they've kind of turned it into like DVDs, Blu-rays, and like T-shirts, collectible. Yeah, it's, you know, but for like heavier music, it's kind of like a mom and pop owned Hot Topic, right?
Okay.
Pop Topic.
Yeah, yeah. Without like
here first.
Yeah, right. So I'm wearing my Halloween shirt, you know, like Halloween, the movie Halloween, not like a pumpkin shirt or something. And I walk into this store because I always go in there when I'm there, just to kind of look around. They always have like band DVDs and stuff like that.
You never know what you'll find.
Exactly. And that place has a lot of sentimental value. I'll go into that later. It doesn't matter. But the girl that's working there stops me and she's like, "Oh, that's an awesome shirt." and I think she had on like an Entomb shirt or something like that. You know what I mean? Like she knew the deal, you know.
With it.
So so I asked her, I'm like, hey, like you guys sell like DVDs and Blu-rays here, right? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, do you guys have a Blu-ray copy of Dead Alive, aka Brain Dead? And she's like, I haven't heard anybody talk about that movie in years. And I'm like, look, I've got this thing going with some friends.
Yeah.
And basically, you know what I mean? Like I gave her the whole rundown. So she carries me over to the D's and then the B's to see if they had a, you know, a Blu-ray, like even an import
Even
copy.
a DVD
Because
at this point.
yeah, exactly. Anything. And they didn't have it. We talked about the movie for a little bit, and then you know I went on about my way, and she went back to work and everything. I've looked everywhere. Every time I go anywhere, I look for this film, and I can't find it. So I'm very excited to know that there's going to be 4K restorations of it coming out.
Oh
so,
yeah, now you just gotta patiently wait.
But here's the thing, though: the deal still stands if you can find an original release.
Oh
Pick it
yeah,
up.
Yeah.
absolutely.
This doesn't count.
Yeah,
it's on my
It's a
list of
box
stuff
set.
when I'm pillaging too, man.
Yeah.
But it makes sense when you see people selling it for that amount of money online. Why? Because you're not going to find one.
Yeah, and like they've released the Blu-ray copies of it, but it hasn't been digitally restored.
No, yeah.
Can you imagine what it's going to look like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That lawnmower scene's gonna look crazy.
Yeah, right.
I wonder if that's the one he threw in to be like, let's see how this would look.
I mean, had to have, right?
Yeah, I'm excited to see that when it's
Yeah.
re-released.
Next up, we have Halloween Kills Extended Cut. Will have more thrills and more kills, in addition to an alternate ending. So, ahead of David Gordon Green's Halloween Kills coming to 4K and Blu-ray in January, the film will first be released digitally on December the 14th in the form of a brand new extended cut. Survivors of Michael Myers' rampage form a vigilante mob and set out to hunt Michael down. The extended cut has more thrills, kills, and an alternate ending. What can we expect from the alternate ending? The novelization may answer that question. David Gordon Green, or Gordon Green. It's David Gordon Green, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Told Collider last month there's an additional scene where we filmed that was scripted, and actually I think it's a pretty brilliant scene. So we're going to do an extended version on the DVD just so people can see an extended ending that's different and cool. We ended up lifting it when I became more confident of where we're going to pick up in the next movie. It didn't feel authentic to where we're going to go, so we lifted it. It's part of the movie. It's just not part of the appropriate momentum of. I think it was cool in its own right as watching a one-off movie, but knowing where we're going to exactly where we're going to pick up, which you'll know in a year. It wasn't the right look in the eye that we needed to give the audience. In addition to the alternate ending, the extended cuts listing on iTunes notes that deleted extended scenes, audio commentaries, and featurettes will be included. Thanks to writer Matt Serfani with these new insights. Matt let us know that Gordon Green recorded one commentary while the other features stars Jamie Lee Curtis and Judy Greer. So yeah, I'm interested to see just like I would like to see the extended ending, you know?
Yeah.
Just to kind of peep it and see what else they added, because if they lifted it because they figured out what they're wanting to do with the final film, then that's kind of an interesting, you know, like maybe he kills, you know, more people that they might potentially be bringing back. I don't know. So it looks good though. Bruce Campbell insists he's done playing Ash. I've got nothing else to give. The Evil Dead franchise lives on with the upcoming sequel, Evil Dead Rise, but don't place any bets on Ash Williams ever returning to rev up the chainsaw once again. Campbell is still involved with the series as he'll be serving as a producer on the new movie, but he's previously made it clear he won't be appearing as Ash. In a new interview with Collider, the 63-year-old explained why. I'm done playing Ash. So that determines a lot of where we go with the franchise without that character. But there are more stories. There are more stories. Hate ever, had ever, the cliched phrase, whatever the cliched phrase is, I left it all on the table. I've got nothing else to give. The 3 seasons of Ash versus Evil Dead were the longest seasons of my life. If you saw the emails pleading with various directors that were like, "Hey, my knee's not working right. Be careful about tomorrow. Let's have the stunt guy nearby. Hey, I can't run anymore." It was just an endless physical struggle. Filming Ash vs. Evil Dead was a bit exhausting for Campbell, but he's still happy for the opportunity. This gave him a chance to come full circle with his career by applying all of his acting knowledge to the character that first made him famous. Because they knew that the end was coming, the ending of Ash vs. Evil Dead was also written as a way to conclude Ash's story, and Campbell feels very satisfied putting a bow on his run in the role at this point. I'm really glad we did it because we saw Ash's home. We went into his bedroom. We met his girlfriends. We met his daughter that we never knew he had and that he never knew he had. And we met his father, played by the great Lee Majors. I feel we really pushed all the buttons and he fulfilled his destiny written in that ancient book. He was the guy destined to defeat evil in the past, present, and future, and he took off with a hot robot chick at the end to go kick in the future. What else do you need? We knew the ratings were bad. We knew going into the last season that we had to have an end because we didn't think Starz was going to re-up us, and we were right. So thank God we did that. They talk about the Hallmark Christmas movie down here too. That's kind of funny. And his cameo in Multiverse of Madness.
Well, and this isn't completely true because he's doing the voice in a video game.
So, well, yeah, I mean.
So what I'm hearing though is small cameo, possibly.
Yeah.
A lot of action, no. Knees are bad. Back hurts. Mic drop. He'll be back at some point. I know he'll put the suit on again. Small cameo.
Yeah. He had a small cameo in the remake, reboot, whatever, the continuation. That's what I call it. And they could always do something like that, like a nod to the past. I'm happy with everything that we got with Evil Dead. And I'm happy that they're going to continue the franchise and figure out a way to continue the franchise without Ash. And that's one thing that does make me happy about it. And that gives me a lot of,
Well, we also, I guess just to add on to what you're saying, like we went from having just a few cult favorite hours of him being that character to now we have several hours of like the journey of Ash doing all this ridiculous shit against the Evil Dead.
Yeah, 30 episodes.
Yeah, so I mean,
which is great.
I mean, I feel like the audience, we were able to get the bag on this one.
Yeah.
I am excited to see more Evil Dead, but like Evil Dead for me, like the story's, cool, but it's Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
It is Bruce
Campbell. Ash. Yeah, yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see, Evil Dead without him.
Yeah, and I think that they could do the right thing. They could definitely like step it up where it needs to be, but like in doing so, do you introduce a new Ash-like character? You know what I mean? Like
I don't know if they'll do the comedy thing, but that may be the difference in this next guy.
Well, and it doesn't even have to be a recreation of Bruce Campbell, but it's got to be a performance from an actor that's being legitimately just honest,
Yeah, Campbell-like.
Because that's what works with Campbell is that he's just being Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Acting out the role.
He don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, I don't know, I wouldn't mind seeing Danny McBride play a character having to fight the Evil Dead. Like, he's very Bruce Campbell-ish,
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's kind of got that vibe about him.
Yeah, their comedy is very similar. Their delivery is very similar. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's intentional or not, but it certainly is,
He is
very
a fan of
similar.
horror.
Yeah, so I mean that might be the thing. Blade synopsis reportedly leaked. Summer 2022 filming start date confirmed? Question mark. An apparent leaked production listing for Marvel Studios' Blade has seemingly revealed the plot synopsis for the upcoming reboot. The listing confirms several of the names already revealed to be involved in the project, including lead actor Marcel Ali and supporting star Delroy Lindo, as well as director Bassam Tarek, screenwriter Stacey Osai Kafour, and producer Kevin Feige. Himself a half human, half vampire daywalker, Eric Brooks has honored his abilities to hunt down the undead who have long terrorized mankind. A human vampire hybrid since his tragic birth, Blade has spent his long life seeking to rid the world of vampires like the one that killed his mother. Over the years, he has mastered his own style of fighting monsters of all kinds. While the synopsis reveals little about any specific plot details, it does confirm that the general outline will follow quite closely with the character's origins from the pages of Marvel Comics, as well as the previous Blade adaptation.
So we're going to get Deacon Frost?
I mean, possibly. Ali's vampire hunter will once again be known to the undead as the legendary Daywalker due to his ability to survive in sunlight. With the human vampire hybrid whose mother was bitten by a vampire while pregnant, having decided to use his special set of skills to wage a vendetta against the blood-sucking villain. Along with the talent involved in the brief yet promising logline, the listing also explains that Marvel's Blade is slated to begin production at Trilith Studios in Atlanta in the late summer of 2022, which tracks with previous reports claiming the movie will be ready to begin production next year. Blade has already made his Marvel Cinematic Universe debut during one of the two post-credit scenes at the end of the recent comic outing Eternals. Did he? Okay, never mind. I know what they're talking about. Though the details outlined in the plot synopsis appear to be quite familiar to anyone with even a scant understanding of what Blade is all about, director Bassam Tariq has teased the potential for change thanks to the character's lack of canon. Character is very important for me, the filmmaker said of adapting the Marvel anti-hero. I don't think of genre, I think of character. It's not so boxed in as people imagine it to be working with Marvel Studios. It's quite exciting, and I think the reality is there is no Blade canon. If you ever read the comics, they're always changing. Unfortunately, the comic book series never lasted that long. And he's right. Like, absolutely right. So to me, what it sounds like is they're gonna adapt some of the core things that make Blade Blade, like his mother being bitten while she was pregnant, him waging war against the vampires because of that, him being the Daywalker. But I mean, I think that that's going to be the extent of like how they're going to follow the story, like his own canon in comics, and I think that that's a good thing because that's going to give him a little bit more diversity. See what I did there? By allowing him to more easily cross over with other Marvel heroes. Because, like, the only time Blade shows up is like, is Morbius there? Okay, Blade's going to show up. Or is this other demon-esque creature going to show up? Then Ghost Rider and Blade are going to, like, it's got to be very specific circumstances for Blade to show up in the Marvel comics,
Yeah.
And I think that this is going to allow them a little bit more freedom, which, in my opinion, if they go a route of like the Marvel Knights and they have Blade as part of like the Marvel Knights thing where it's a little bit more mature and everything, I think that would be kind of cool. So that's just, that's just kind of how I'm looking at it. You know what I mean? So, did you guys know that they wanted to cast Shaquille O'Neal in the Green Mile?
Probably a good thing they didn't.
I know, right?
I mean, let's just
like, yeah.
I'm pretty sure we've all seen. Is it Kazam?
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
the movie would not be as iconic as it is.
Definitely not, right?
It'd been like if they put Tom Cruise in Forrest Gump. Well, maybe not as bad, but still, like, that's weird.
Right. So here it says that it's hard to imagine the 1999 movie The Green Mile without the central performance of Michael Clark Duncan as gifted, gentle giant John Coffey. But it seems that could have been a very real prospect had another multi-talented star had agreed to take on the role. On the Merchant and Orand Sports Media podcast, Shaquille O'Neal spoke about how he was originally offered the role of Coffey, but he had his own reasons for turning down the part in what would go on to be an Oscar-nominated film. Speaking with the podcast, Shaquille O'Neal recalled how he didn't want to play that character, someone who was subjected to such abuse because of the color of their skin. He also believed that there was a possibility that the role could lead to him being typecast in the future, which was something he wanted to avoid. As it turns out, and while that would certainly have been a concern at the time, the role of John Coffey was so well written by King and translated to screen by Darabont that it tackled the dangerous and truest form of racial prejudice without ever seeming heavy-handed. And Duncan's performance in the role was one that rightly earned him a Best Supporting Actor nomination. However, O'Neal has no regrets.
I bet.
Yeah.
It would have been a completely different movie, dude.
Yeah.
The movie,
I mean, everybody remembers the year that movie came out and how all the award shows that came out. Duncan was on the nomination list.
Yeah.
Like Green Mile, like it won a ton of awards, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, it was very well done.
Yeah, dude. To this day, I still say I ain't never seen me a flick of movie.
Well, now I'm sure it's got its deviances from the source material, but to this day, one if not two of Stephen King's best films has always been Shawshank and Green Mile.
Yeah.
I was actually about to bring up something about Shawshank after this article. It's just funny that it's both Stephen King. The guy the main character in that. Shawshank.
Tim Robbins?
Tim Robbins, okay. So they wanted Tom Cruise to play in it. But listen, he wouldn't do it because it was director's first movie. He said, if you get another director, I might, but I'm not going to do this movie because it's his first movie. He don't know what he's doing. Boy, he was wrong.
Yeah. Well, not only was he wrong, but like, I'm glad that he didn't take it. And I like Tom Cruise. I like Tom Cruise as an actor. I enjoy him.
But it would have been a whole different vibe, man.
Well, Tim Robbins has this very humble,
kind of everyday guy.
Exactly. And I think that's why that like Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
Was because he's an everyman.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise at the time that movie was released could possibly pull that off, but I don't think as well as Robbins
would have been different.
Absolutely. That's crazy. And I could the difference between Morgan Freeman and Robbins' age never seemed like it was obvious that Red had been in there for a while.
Yeah.
He showed him the ropes and everything.
He's the old wise guy.
Yeah, exactly. But it felt like they were, they were symbiotic, to kind of reference what we were talking about earlier. Yeah, and it's like, how would they make that happen with a super young Tom Cruise?
Yeah, sex symbol at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. the sexiest man alive, I think, you know, or something like that.
I'm sure he was on
So
the list.
I think he won. I don't know. But that's weird, man. That's super weird.
Yeah, dude, that movie would have been terrible.
I mean,
Shaquille O'Neal, and I don't hate Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
He's an excellent basketball player.
Yeah, but basketball player was
Could you
not.
just see him? He's like, hey, wait, let's see if look a movie. You know, like just mumbling through the lines, like.
Who knows, man? They might have got a performance of a lifetime out of him.
I tell you what's crazy about. Of course, I haven't seen The Green Mile in a long time, but like, he's in a movie. He's a supporting role to Tom Hanks.
Yeah, and was better than Tom Hanks.
Blew him out of the water.
Yeah, right.
Like, who else can say that?
I mean,
other than the robot in Fletch or Finch.
They blow him out of the water in that too.
I mean, you do make a valid point. When people think of the Green Mile, they almost always are going to think of Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah, dude,
They're
him sweating and crying. Just
yeah, dude.
Like
a very good performance.
Yeah. So Tom Holland responds to new Spider-Man trilogy news. So there's been some stuff, and there was several articles that were kind of back to back about, well, there's going to be a new trilogy come out.
Yeah.
You know, didn't like Marvel and Sony came out and basically said like, no, Tom Holland, we're not introducing Miles Morales yet.
Yeah.
Because we talked about that on the last episode about how he thinks that it's time for them to start
30, then Sony was real quick to come out and be like, oh, he's in another Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. What if they're covering up for something that may happen in the next? Because by him saying that, it's like, well, does something happen to you?
Exactly.
And then they're like, no. He's.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
So it says here that Tom Holland has responded following Sony producer Amy Pascal's recent revelation that they, along with Marvel Studios, have another 3 movies planned in the Spider-Man franchise. While speaking on Quotenden, a French talk show, Holland remained standoffish when discussing his future as the iconic web-slinging superhero, with the actor who has become quite famous for dropping spoilers keeping his cards surprisingly close to his chest. Listen, all I'll say is we have some very, very exciting things to be talking about. I don't know what those things are or what they will transpire to mean, but it looks like it's an incredibly bright future ahead. And as I've said before, Spider-Man will forever live in me. Pascal's announcement that another trilogy is currently being planned following the release of Spider-Man No Way Home seemingly came out of nowhere, and it appears that the news was also a big shock to Tom Holland himself, with the actor none the wiser to any details regarding the further adventures of Peter Parker. This is not the last movie that we are going to make with Marvel. This is not the last Spider-Man movie, Pascal recently explained. We are getting ready to make the next Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and Marvel. It just isn't we're thinking of this as 3 films, and now we're going to go into the next 3. This is not the last of our MCU movies. So, I mean, they could be setting up, you know.
Yeah.
They could be, and they could set up because they've already kind of hinted around about dropping some Miles Morales spoilers here and there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if he does 3 more movies, then he's definitely locked in for at least the next 7 to 8 years.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's printing money. So why would they stop?
Yeah. So we'll see. You know, we'll see what happens here with it.
Spider-Man could be on track. Just Spider-Man movies alone.
Yeah.
Could be on track to rake in more money than the rest of the MCU.
Oh, yeah.
Combined. Like,
well, it would be crazy if fucking Marvel made enough money off of the Spider-Man to buy the Spider-Man IP. You know what I mean?
Definitely been talked about.
Yeah. Printing money,
it would pay for itself.
Dude, it would pay for itself in less than 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
With the merchandising, the video games, and the
theme park.
TV shows. Yeah. Oh, yeah. for sure. Also, speaking of Spider-Man, we are now less than a month away from Spider-Man No Way Home making its long-awaited debut in theaters. With all those rumors, questions, and theories, will be finally laid to rest in one spectacular action blockbuster that we now believe will have a runtime of 2 hours and 28 minutes, thanks to a tweet by BSL. While there has been speculation over just how long the movie's runtime would be, and high estimates previously suggested a bum-numbing 2 hours, 2 hours and 47 minutes was on the cards. It now seems that while still being the longest Spider-Man movie in the web-slinger's big screen history, it will fall in line as the fourth longest MCU picture behind Endgame, Eternals, and Infinity War. So yeah, I mean, they just kind of go into it here. I remember having discussions with Amy. This was from Feige. I remember having discussions with Amy Pascal years ago. Do we want to revisit villains we've seen before? No, let's do Vulture and Mysterio and characters we haven't brought to the screen before. But I remember thinking, how would you even do Doc Ock again? Because Alfred Molina is perfect casting.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever brought him back, it would have to be him somehow. In the same issue, yeah. In the same issue, Tom Holland added, when I first pitched the idea, I was like, wow. When I was first pitched the idea, I was like, wow, that would be awesome if we could pull it off, Tom Holland told Empire Magazine. But there's just no way it's going to work. You're just not going to be able to get everyone to do what they need to do. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. But it did happen. And it's crazy. It's crazy how money talks.
Yeah, I was about to say them C notes.
It's crazy how, Wink there,
yeah. It's crazy. So I'm excited, dude. I'm definitely going to the theaters to watch Spider-Man. That's definitely happening. I'm excited. I'm ready for it to come out. It's been, I may, between now and then, watch the first two. I may watch Civil War, Spider-Man movies, maybe Infinity War and Endgame. I'm not sure, but I at least want to watch those two Spider-Man movies,
Yeah, Michael Keaton was on, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel recently. And he was in LA shooting some Vulture stuff. That's why he was there.
Was it for that, or was it for something else?
Remember they were talking about, I don't know if he said he was there shooting Vulture stuff.
Okay.
All I could say. I know they're doing reshoots for that one movie.
For Multiverse of Madness.
So, I don't know.
And how crazy would that be? Like, Sam Raimi wanted to do Vulture as Spider-Man 3, and they're like, no, we want fucking Venom.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck it, I'll do Venom. But that would be crazy.
I mean, being less than a month out, you would think they already had that in the can, but they could Spider-Man, but they could still add something.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah.
He has been busy, he was doing that show and
about the pain pills.
He's been Batman again.
Dope sick. Yeah.
Yeah. So
another thing with Spider-Man, y'all know they're delaying it in the Philippines till January.
Why?
Good question.
Aren't they Catholic?
COVID now? Yeah, but I think there. So here, you kind of have the choice of whether you want to be vaccinated or not to go places.
Yeah.
There's no option. It's like if you ain't vaccinated, you're not going in. They won't let you in certain stores, and so I think it's got something to do with COVID, of course. Yeah. But there was a whole thing on Twitter trending about it where they were like, "Don't delay it because there's going to be spoilers like crazy."
Oh, for sure, dude. It'll be memed at midnight.
And that's why the people are like, please don't do this. Have y'all seen the queues and the waiting time for people trying to get tickets?
No.
There's people in queues starting this week because tickets went on sale.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Yeah. And it would be 48 hours or just you're in queues. Jesus. Yeah, it's like trying to get a fucking graphics card. You know what I mean? People were like, this is crazy. They're like, this is like when I was trying to get tickets for Endgame or like when you're trying to get tickets for a concert.
Yeah.
And it's like, because, a lot of people want to go opening.
Yeah.
They're just selling. No. I went to one opening. I think when we went to
Avengers.
Was it Avengers? There was one opening
Yeah,
night that was like, whoa, this motherfucker is full.
We went to midnight Avengers showing.
And
it was me,
still
you, and
packed.
Katie. Dude, no, not a dry eye or a dry seat in the fucking theater, It was just wet everywhere, So, we got one more little thing here. Zorro is an undocumented hacker in 2.0 reboot from sleep dealer director Alex Riviera.
Excuse me?
It was announced today that MacArthur Genius Award winner Alex Rivera has signed on to write and direct the reboot Zorro 2.0, which will be produced by Mark Almond's Sabini Films. Rivera has written a new draft for a schedule starting 2022. The official synopsis reads: when his mother is attacked by a secret government unit, Oscar de la Vega, a young undocumented hacker known as Zorro, fights back and discovers a high-tech conspiracy that threatens not only his family, but the world.
Okay. Sounds like a great movie, but let's not call it Zorro. Just call it something else.
Yeah.
Call it Hacker 2.0. Something. Like,
yeah.
There's no connection to Zorro there.
I mean, his username is Z0RR0.
I can change my username to Zorro.
Dude, you should.
He put the gay blade on it,
Oh, dude. We have to watch that for the pod.
I actually saw some clips of it here recently.
It looks good, right?
It does say here in that article, it says Zorro 2.0 will be visually elevated, socially grounded sci-fi cinema. And I'm thrilled to be working with Sabini to get it going on screen. And it's crediting that that movie Sleep Dealer is apparently a cyberpunk thriller set on the U.S.-Mexico border. And it won the 2008 Sundance Film Festival Award and the Berlin International Film Festival.
But did it get the coveted Crying Monkey?
I don't know.
I mean, I might check that out. But what's the connection to Zorro? Like,
I don't know. Well, I wonder if he's going to try to apply that movie to this. Kind of like how Dredd was just the Raid, but reskinned as Judge Dredd. I wonder if he's going to do something like that. Well, I wonder because,
when I think Zorro, dude, I think a sword, a horse. Antonio Banderas.
And
get the shit off my boot heel.
I don't know. I saw the article and I saw the photo and I was just like, man, how times have changed. Because I remember when that movie was a big deal when it came out, like it was treated like a blockbuster.
Yeah.
It was good though.
Anthony Hopkins was in it as the OG Zorro.
Yeah. I kind of want to revisit that sometime.
Well, I mean that, and then thinking about it, and then it sounds like it's a cool idea and a shitty idea. It's Schrodinger's idea. It's like shit and good at the same time.
But there's no connection to Zorro there, unless he's gonna have a sword and a mask and.
Right. Yeah.
He'll be wearing like a face diaper, though, like a COVID mask.
Now it would be interesting if.
What if he's a direct
we fast forward to now, and
Zorro.
he's like Antonio Banderas' grandson or something.
He's like your great grandfather, Zorro. So he's like, I'm making my username with 2 O's in it.
So, the movie starts and it's him playing Minecraft.
Yeah, he's hacking, he's modding it, and they're like, you're pretty good at that.
I saw that and I was just. More for like just it was more of a post for us to be like, hey, remember that movie?
Yeah.
But
interesting.
It is a choice, right?
And it may be great.
Definitely. Yeah.
But you'll have kids watching that now and they'll be like, Zorro. And it's like, do you know who Zorro is? And they're like, yeah, this guy, the hacker. It's like,
Then you put on Zorro the gay blade.
And they're like,
it makes me want to. I'm gonna pull up the movie or the Sleep Dealer movie.
Yeah,
throw
I
the
just
trailer.
saved that so I could check that out. But if you can get the trailer.
Speaking of trailers,
I got an honorable mention.
What you got?
You know the Beatles documentary, Get Back?
Get Back.
So Disney wanted Peter Jackson to remove all the cursing.
Did he tell him to go fuck off?
He did.
Good.
He said no.
I haven't watched it yet. Have you watched it?
Is it available?
Only part one. Only part one's available, and I
Oh.
haven't watched it because of that.
I kind of want both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
How
on
will
Disney
part 2
Plus,
come
though.
out?
Not sure.
I have to check. Yeah, because I'm gonna need those back to back.
Yeah.
I don't want to spread that out. Back to back, back to back.
I know I mentioned it before we went live, but did watch Hawkeye, worth the watch, and can confirm Ghostbusters is a banger and worth watching.
Banger. Get back to where you want. I'm gonna have that shit.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Stuck in.
Well, I was watching a clip the other night where they were like sound checking. The Beatles were
like
working.
Chuck Norris.
Well, they're like in a studio working on music.
Yeah.
It's all black and white, and they're like, one of the guys tells them, "Hey, we need you to do this back like this," and fucking John's like, "We're fucking stars. You don't fucking talk to us like that." And Paul's like, "Hey, yeah, fuck face." And I'm like, they're just having a good time.
Could you imagine? It's like we've talked about this, right? To be a fly on the wall while they were recording, a night at the opera, right?
Yeah.
Or a day at the races, or or like pick any like groundbreaking fucking, like when they were recording L.A. Woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They all hated each other. Could you imagine? I mean, and now we're gonna see like that, kinda with the Beatles.
All the little jabs they'll probably make.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, and I wish that like I wish that like every one of those bands had like someone recording them. Yeah, I know.
It's a crazy, like, because if you're a musician now, they record everything you do.
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah, dude, I'm constantly scouring the net for, like, you just name a band, put it in there, and put in like in the studio or,
yeah,
behind the scenes. It's like I just want to see a little touch of the process, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're spoiled, man, with like podcast and.
I know, right?
Like if podcasts would have been around back then. Oh.
I know.
I mean, you're talking to a motherfucker that listened to the Gonzo tapes, and they're all over the place. Like, you don't know what's going on. I'm like, how do you make this into a book?
Yeah, right.
Because he'll just come over and pick it up, and be like, it's 11:30. Fucked up. And I need more ice, and then he just leaves, and it's like, okay.
You listen to all of them?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
At least all that was available.
Yeah.
That I acquired. This has been years ago.
Right.
But it's just because I wanted more. Like,
yeah.
Every Hunter S. Thompson documentary I could find, I watched it. Everything.
Yeah. He was a very fascinating individual for sure.
I wish whenever, Johnny Depp went to stay with him.
Yeah.
I wish that whole thing would have been recorded.
They would have been arrested.
Been a great documentary.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Well, you just wait for the statute of limitation to run out.
Well, yeah. I mean, once he, called it
Depp's already
quits
been
per
canceled,
se.
so
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say.
He's like,
whatever.
Release it.
Yeah. Release the footage. It's like, what?
As soon as he got canceled,
Yeah,
release the footage.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna drop in. They dropped a trailer. I'll just put this at the end. I don't know if y'all have seen this.
No.
Or I believe this is $5,000 for a night or 2 nights to stay in that.
Let's
Crazy
go.
amount of money.
Y'all want to do it?
Not for that much money. Just
What
use
if
my
we get someone
imagination.
what if we get somebody to sponsor us
Sure.
and we do an episode of the podcast from there?
Be happy to do it from there.
So if anybody wants to sponsor, we'll talk about it when we get there. But I'm ready for trailers, man. We've got one right here, The Silent Sea.
It's a foreign.
Netflix, English subs.
Comment. And I'm ready.
Let's do it.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
You know it's serious when there's a buzzer going on and someone's passed out.
Is this The Abyss?
Is this the sequel to The Wandering Earth?
Oh, fuck.
It was a simple moon mission.
That's cool looking.
I know what I'll be watching as I roll into my birthday.
They'll give you nothing.
I know, right? That one dude is the guy from Squid Game. The one that was like, if you can flip my fucking envelope over,
yeah,
you'll get 10,001 or whatever.
Well, it seems like the sequel to Ad Astra's really found his voice now.
God, it's got to be better than the fucking movie was, right? Jesus Christ.
Wormwood.
Check out this thumbnail.
Edgy with the Y there.
If that thumbnail don't scream B movie.
I know, right?
Like,
right here. Oh man, this looks amazing. Love the first one. So if this looks all right, we might have to throw this, and the prequel in the pile here.
This dude says he's been waiting 7 years.
Jesus.
Whoa. They finally got enough money off the sales to make the
sequel.
I'm not gonna judge that individual until I can see the bookshelf that he hopefully has in his house. Or she, if it's a chick.
Wasn't there a show called Wormwood? Or something? No?
Mate, I don't know.
There's a dope-ass album by the Acacia Strain called Wormwood, but that's about the extent of my knowledge with it.
Is it spelled the same?
No.
Oh, I was like, maybe that's what you're talking about. It does sound cool. Wormwood. All right, I'm ready. Y'all ready?
Poisonous plant, I do believe.
3, 2, 1, play. Hey, it won stuff.
This looks like it's going to be good in like a Tremors sequel kind of way.
Mad Max meets zombies.
I think you nailed it, dude.
What's this, Australia? Banca, for sure.
Fucking I.
Goddamn Wilfred steps out of that elevator holding a bong. Oh, so this is like this dude's Army of the Dead.
That's what it's kind of got.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
There he is.
Claw.
Like, it's like Killing Floor 2, the movie. Or any of the other shit like Left 4 Dead and stuff.
This says in cinemas. I'm like, not here.
Yeah.
Hell no. AMC Theaters is like, you wanted to do what?
Like, we already have fire.
I feel like these movies that are just like these random words like they, them, from, it. Like, they all kind of always try to go for that same aesthetic. Like, right off here with the thumbnail, it's the car going down the lone highway with trees on both sides. Like, when are we going to be a family again, Mom? Cuts to them driving up front like, oh, honey, whenever, another 30, 45 minutes of plot happens.
Well, this is a series, so we're going to get way more plot than that.
Oh, God.
I think
Oh,
this
you're
is
right.
on
I'm
Epics.
just now saying that's a series.
All right, here we go.
Let's check it out.
3, 2, 1, play.
They're taking a long way home.
Wrong turn.
Didn't you know that crows are bad omens? Whoa!
Okay.
Whoa! Like...
Seen him in a while. This must be his town. Oh, it's a loop.
Okay. That's why, isn't it? I used to be on an island and the same shit happened.
Oh, all these people got stuck there. Kind of interested.
By what?
Don't ruin it right here. Skinwalkers.
They vampires?
The skinwalkers. I have to see what's up there.
It doesn't look bad.
Nah. I want to know more about it.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like these different streaming services, they all go all in on one show, and they usually have one banger.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything from Epic yet, so maybe this is going to be their breakthrough original, you know?
Yeah. Banger.
Epics.
So we've got Sean Penn here back. More Flag Day.
Sean Penn and Dylan Penn. Dylan Penn?
Well, it's Dylan.
Fucking Dylan Doodicle loaded Dylan Penn.
Is he going to outdo Bill Pullman's Independence Day speech?
I mean, he's got to. This is Flag Day.
We will not go quietly into the night.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Didn't we have Flag Day at school?
Yeah. Domestic violence.
This is hitting a little too close to home.
Right.
Oh. And it's Sean Penn. And fucking no doubt.
Are we finally getting the sequel to the Goonies?
Oh, he's printing money.
Minnesota.
Rammstein.
I think we saw a teaser where he was driving down the road with the helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Clutch your pearls, why don't you? It was directed by him. I will be here for you.
The way the title came up right as you went, clutch your pearls. Like
the whole world could explode. Ooh.
I am super duper excited for this fucking film, man.
I'm interested. I haven't seen this, but I saw what it is and who is in it, and I'm like, okay.
When you remember the last teaser we got, it was just them walking.
Yeah.
They
like
ain't
30
giving
seconds.
They're not giving a lot away.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what a minute 39 will yield us, though.
Probably some more walking. 3, 2, 1, play.
Just don't be chewing bubblegum, man.
Walking.
God, this looks so good.
If they keep the dialogue Shakespearean, that's going to be fucking awesome, dude.
Walking.
I'm looking for Macbeth. Oh. Radar for violence.
I can't fucking wait to see this shit.
Well,
dude.
this is gonna be this year's Green Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Green Knight vibes all around.
Yeah. Green Knight.
I'm loving the OG aspect ratio and the black and white, like with the lighthouse.
Green Knight with the lighthouse.
Yeah. Which is like,
let's go.
The best of both worlds.
Like the minute that drops, I really would like for us to podlock it, because
January the 14th, man.
Those few A24 bangers, man, they bang hard.
I mean, somebody banged something at Lamb, you know?
It wasn't who we, and it turned out to be exactly who we thought.
Yeah. All right. We've got Dead Asleep. So this is the sequel to Dead Alive. Dead Asleep.
Is this our first murder porn?
Probably.
It looks like a documentary.
That's what the screenshot looked like.
Let's see. 3, 2, 1, play.
Yeah.
Well, case closed.
Yeah, right.
Whoa.
Heard that.
Ever since Making a Murder, dude.
Yeah.
You know. Oh.
What?
Oh. I mean, they tell you not to wake them up. There's Charlotte. These nuts. I can see why they would cover this now.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yep. You'll piss in your floor. You don't even know it. Not even know they did it.
I feel like I'll be the one to get back with y'all on this, because this looks exactly up my wife's alley.
Yeah, Griffin probably gonna know something about it too.
For sure.
I'm probably gonna watch it whether I was wanting to or not.
Yeah. But here's what I will say, okay? Yeah. And I'm not trying to incriminate myself, you know?
You are a sleepwalker.
But I am a sleepwalker.
Mm-hmm.
And Marina said that I attacked her with a pillow one night.
I remember this. Can't confirm.
Yeah, because like, you know, I go to bed before she does. And apparently she went to bed after me while I was asleep, and I woke up and started like hitting her with a pillow, like, but not in a playful way.
Yeah.
Like something was trying to get
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine this guy's standing in the kitchen holding a knife
over a
and
dead
she tries
woman's
to wake
body.
him up.
Oh yeah.
Like, what are you doing? And he just starts stabbing. Like,
yeah. So
possible.
I mean, it's kind of scary to think about.
I've thought about that
know?
before. When people, I've done some sleepwalking, but not, it's not something I do all the time. And if I do, I don't know it. So.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've always thought it is creepy when people sleepwalk.
Yeah,
my youngest child sleepwalked for a little while there, but it was always harmless stuff. it would be like I'd see her sitting in the kitchen. I'm like, "What are you doing?" And then
realize she's
all of a
sleeping.
sudden, yeah, and I'd just be like, "Hey."
If you just lead them back to the bed.
Well, I would just go, "Hey, go back to bed," and then she'd just get up and go back to bed. Like,
I got up and went outside of the house as a child, sleepwalking in my underwear.
That's scary.
Yeah. My mom was like, I'm in here laying in the bed, and I hear that deadbolt click. Snap, you know? She's like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
So she comes out there. We're living in these apartments, and I'm in my underwear walking down the steps. I don't know where I'm going. Maybe to the bus stop.
Yeah.
She said, but when I would do that, she would just come like, get my shoulders, turn me.
Yeah.
Just walk me back to the bed. I'd get back in it. That was it.
You were on a mission, dude.
Yeah.
But I have heard, like, don't wake people up when they're in that state.
Yeah.
Like,
I had several. I was woken up and I just freaked out.
Yeah.
Like I thought something was trying to get me. You know what I mean? I didn't understand. Like,
yeah.
Freak out.
Because you're going in full primal protection.
Yeah. It was fight or flight, dude.
Yeah.
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 Freak out, man.
Yeah. So
like it's like I was having night terrors.
I've had those. So I've had a lot of weird sleep stuff happen to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Like the sleep paralysis demon sitting on my chest.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
Dude, I've had this thing recently where I'll be sitting there sleeping, and there's a little bit of light that comes in the window. So even if it's in the morning, or like having maybe falling asleep, leaving the Chromecast on, there's a little bit of light. But I've had it happen several times, even lately, where I'll be sitting there asleep, and I'll look at the ceiling, and I know I'm awake because I'm looking around.
Yeah.
But I was looking at the ceiling, and it was almost like some kind of pattern was starting to form on it. It was like there was a face in it.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then I'm like, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
And then I come out of it, and I'm like, that was fucking creepy.
Yeah. Been there, you know?
Absolutely.
I don't. So I'm kind of interested. Like if she watches that or wants to watch that, then I would be interested because, like I said, I mean, I've sleptwalked for years.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, they're clearly going to bring in a scientist to explain the phenomenon of sleepwalking, and that's going to be interesting to watch.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I don't even know if the dude got off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know anything about the story, so he may have got off on that defense, but then again, he may, the jury may have been like, not buying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were awake.
You killed her.
But I mean, he called the cops and he said a murder, and it was me.
I'm sorry.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, but when did he call? He could have woke up the next morning. Yeah. He's got blood all over him. She's dead. There's a knife there. He's like, I guess I killed her. I don't know.
Yeah, right. So.
And then the drinking on top of it.
Yeah, that's when I sleptwalk a lot, was when I was drinking, So I don't do that much anymore, you know what I'm saying? We got our first trailer for the book of Boba Fett or Boba Fett. My backpack. Yeah. My backpack's got jets.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
Read me a story, Boba.
Grab that book over yonder. Or he goes full green jelly. Gather round, and I will tell you a tale. Well, the first little bit, it kicks in like that.
We're getting more. We saw that teaser. Now we're getting more trailer.
The cameo that was so well received, they thought they'd milk it a little more.
Fighter from Rocco.
Looks like it's got one of the Matrix fetuses.
It did.
I want someone to spoof this and have the Dog the Bounty Hunter music playing while he's coming after you, Boba Fett.
But do it. No, do it like they do this new when they kind of remix it. So it's the music we're hearing, but you hear it in the background. Yeah.
Or it's that really shitty addition to the old Star Wars movies where they do that cantina scene and that thing's all like they're fucking jumping around, and you were like, "Why'd you do that, George?"
Toys.
We get it. He runs this shit. There's a power vacuum. He's got to stop him. But I still want to watch, you know?
Absolutely.
Like how they brought over a few of the people from Mandalorian, so.
Yeah.
It's going to be cool if, like, Mando does show up, you know, at some point.
It's going to be a banger, dude. I mean, it's the same people that did Mandalorian, so.
Yeah, yeah. We got another little Matrix thing here.
Alrighty. I kind of like knowing what I know, and I don't want more. Like, I want to be able to enjoy this and not go in being like, oh, we get to see the rest of that big shot where they jumped off the building. Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let's do it.
Trinity is melting.
This comment.
I've waited so long for this. Oh.
No, the Trinity actress is still just as tasty despite the years. What the fuck, man?
Heard that.
Oh my god.
What's the word? Simp? Is that what they use?
He's simping.
Yeah.
Trinity simping.
Are we on Twitch? Because we'll get banned for saying that.
I mean, to summon my inner Dalia, didn't we all agree?
Yeah.
That this movie didn't need to be made? Didn't we agree? But yeah.
3, 2, 1, play. Now, this comes out soon, doesn't it? This in December?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a Asian TV spot. Looks like Indonesian. Man, it looks great.
Yeah.
His glasses are blue. I noticed that.
Yeah.
Oh. Ooh.
Resurrections. Wingardium Leviosa. Jesus, it's all the TV spots.
You're done. What we say, you're done. Another one? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be the trailer, but with that music playing. Like,
the Matrix.
They're all dodging bullets, and it's like the Pakistan version where it's like, you know, Matrix Resurrections.
Ooh.
Oh, yo.
Shin Megami Tensei.
Cosmic Dawn.
I
don't know
saw an
what this
article
is.
on that.
I mean,
Yeah,
side
that's
about
why
it.
I dropped. Yeah,
sounds like a stoner metal band.
I fucking hope it is, dude.
What
We're
is
going
it?
on tour with Elder.
Like, well, no, they got to be the writers of the Cosmic Dawn to be a band.
I'd be okay with that. But
Either
yeah,
way, yeah.
All right,
let's
3,
peep her.
2, 1, play. This much. I mean,
This is weird.
MGMT.
Oh, is this like Heaven's Gate?
It seems like it. Culty here. Definitely a cult, because they usually give you psychedelics to. Remember Midsummer?
Yeah.
Mm.
Dude, the Metroid movie looks crazy.
Mm.
I'm sure that's gonna be good though. It's gonna be weird.
It doesn't look bad.
No.
I'm down for weird.
Yeah. Let's get weird, dudicles. All right, Sleep Dealer. This is the trailer for that film from the guy that's making the Zorro movie. So,
yeah.
So is this a
I don't know
foreign
what
film?
I think it's a Latino film. I'm pulled in, but the only thing that's keeping me here is I want to see the quote unquote cyberpunk aspect of it.
yeah. Let's do it.
All right, 3,
Oh,
2, 1, play. 95. Welcome back to Dirty Jobs, Mike Rowe. Spending too much time in the metaverse. Oh, they got people running the robots in prisons. See? There's still. Uh, I could see why they would want to kind of revamp it.
Yeah.
Vision is scary. Oh, I was gonna say this. I'm like, when was this trailer made? That's been out.
Yeah, it came out in 2008, right?
You can feel the air.
Yeah, right. Looks like a sci-fi film, like from the network sci-fi. But it's all good.
Have you guys seen the Goldbergs?
I've caught an episode here and there.
So you know the main kid, Adam Goldberg.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's the bright-eyed, bushy-tail, excited to do anything. Okay. So he's in this. And he's he's doing that character the whole time, and it's hilarious. Because it's like, dude, just be you.
Yeah.
You'll see what I mean. Y'all ready?
Let's do it, man.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. I mean, when he rolls up, watch him. He's just like, you want to say it? Dude, tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, for real.
Just a little.
Jesus Christ.
That is cool, though. She's trying to match his energy.
Yeah.
And no one can.
Like, I feel like this is what's playing when you're in the gift shop on the TV in the corner.
That's cool.
It was Disney as fuck. They're like, if you're gonna have a residency here, you're gonna have to dress like a Twilight.
Yeah, she's the alien pop star on the ship.
I'm waiting for Chris Rock to pop out, or Chris Tucker to pop out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's hot, 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 hot.
Welcome to the new world.
It's a short song.
Man.
No. $5,000.
No. Like, if they tried to go for full authenticity, like you're on the Star Cruiser, it's like 1 a.m. You've already went to the parks. You're tired as shit. 1 o'clock.
Yeah, dude. You're tired when you come back.
Man, you're battle stations, and you're like, you got to fight off the Empire.
Yeah.
Like, it's this tireless endeavor.
Yeah.
He looks like he says "gosh" and "darn" a lot.
Yeah. Gosh darn it!
It looks like the minute the camera cuts off, he's like, God damn it!
Can I get a fucking cigarette?
Can I get a whiskey already?
Double.
Who's this bitch?
Man, went into a room and there was someone singing. You met Gaia. And it's 2 days. You get 2 days.
2 days with
That's
Gaia.
the limit. But the woman was like 2 days and 2 nights. It's like it's 2 days. What are we watching next week? We already.
We haven't set anything up yet. Is there? I mean, it's the first week of Christmas, right?
We did mention maybe doing the Black Friday movie.
Yeah, we could do that.
There's a few things that are out. So, 8-Bit Christmas is out. It's a Christmas
Wouldn't mind
movie.
watching it.
The Last Duel is out. Not a Christmas movie, but it is out.
Yeah.
And Black Friday, I'm not really seeing anything else. But it will be Christmas time next year.
So are there any films that might be showing up as a possible audible though that we can call, like Eternals or something?
I don't think I think Eternals will probably come probably January.
Heard.
I think it's 45 days, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we could I don't know, we could do some Christmas movies, or we could do,
or we could do a spin on TNT and have a run of films, and we'll call it Christmas films for people who don't like Christmas films.
Yeah. We could do that.
We've already brushed on Die Hard though, haven't we?
Yeah. No, I don't think we've done Die Hard on the pod. Let's see. Here's what I'm gonna do.
I mean,
we haven't watched Die Hard.
So do we try to settle the debate of whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie?
It is.
But is it?
It's been confirmed.
So I typed in action Christmas movies. Okay. Just to kind of get an idea here. All right. Comingsoon.net, 10 best action Christmas movies. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, Batman Returns, we've already done that. The Long Kiss Goodnight, Shazam, we've already done that. Die Hard 2, The Last Boy Scout, Fat Man, we've already done that. Enemy of the State, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. So those are the 10 best Christmas action movies. This is the 20 Christmas movies for badasses. Okay. This is the name of the article.
Oh, let me strap into my seat here.
Yeah. Rocky 4, The Long Kiss Goodnight, Brazil. I don't want to I'm not ready for that.
No, you're not.
I've seen it and I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck was happening in that movie. Batman Returns, Less Than Zero, Gremlins, Eyes Wide Shut, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, James Bond, Things to Come, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Christmas Vacation, Bad Santa, Scrooged, Home Alone, Scrooge from 1951.
May I interject?
Trading Places.
I'd like to do the first coveted real estate real band.
Talking about the new Home Alone?
No. We will never, ever watch The Nightmare Before Christmas and review it.
Ever?
You don't like the movie?
What's there to talk about? Let's that we can't say about it right now. But I mean, because it's such a, I don't know, man. It's a meme movie to me.
Yeah, I mean,
because the real band, we've never talked about it. It's a thing. It's a new thing, but it's happening.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the paperwork to get processed by the commissioner, but I feel like it's there.
We just got to mail it back to you. It's stamped.
The
seventh seal has been broken.
Oh God!
Are you a god?
Well, here's what I'm thinking.
Anything.
Here's what I'm thinking, right? So we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks in December, right?
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon is a Christmas film. Die Hard's a Christmas film, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then we can throw 2 more into that. Trading Places is a Christmas film. I'm just saying. I haven't watched that movie in a very long time. But we also have The Long Kiss Goodnight that we could throw in there. Gremlins, we could throw that in there. Eyes Wide Shut. See what I'm saying here? Because I've been wanting to watch some older, a lot of the stuff that we've done in the last like several months kind of has been like newer releases. Yeah. It wouldn't be so bad to go back and kind of, I'm just throwing out there. I wouldn't mind doing Die Hard and Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, we could start it out with Die Hard.
Okay.
Sure, I mean, the first
one.
What
about Gremlins?
Yeah, we could do that.
I'm looking at the top 100 right now. 8-Bit Christmas, FYI, has already been ranked number 22.
I mean, we could
100.
So we've got 2 action films, a kind of horror-esque Christmas. What if we throw in the 8-Bit Christmas as the family
with
Christmas?
That.
Yeah.
It'll be closer to Christmas, right?
Yeah, we don't have to do it in this order.
It'll be the 28th. Oh no, that's fine with me.
This list is pretty fucking crazy. Some of these movies I hadn't thought about in years.
It's crazy, right? Going back.
I didn't think that The Last Boy Scout was a Christmas movie. I just watched that not too long ago.
Yeah. I mean, we've got some other ones too. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. That's a fucking great movie. But
it's now granted its IMDb is 6.6, but I was like, this sounds kind of cool in a Christmas, romancy kind of way. A movie called Beyond Tomorrow from 1940. Runtime at 84 minutes. Here's the synopsis. The ghosts of 3 elderly industrialists killed in an airplane crash return to Earth to help reunite a young couple they initially brought together.
Yeah.
Like they plant the seeds in life and fertilize it when they're dead, I guess.
I always like to fertilize the seeds I plant, if you know what I mean.
I mean, how
you pick it up.
How are you not gonna fertilize, man? I mean,
yeah,
simple farming, simple tools. What our ancestors did.
So y'all want to start with Die Hard and then just kind of like fill it out as we go?
Sure.
Or Reindeer Games.
Lemon face, lion face. Ah.
I mean, I'm fine with the list we have already. I'm just name dropping just to see how y'all would react, because some of these I feel like y'all haven't thought about maybe in a while.
Yeah, definitely haven't thought about them in a while.
Jack Frost with Michael Keaton.
With us watching some older movies, and some of them, there's a little bit to talk about that, but not like these newer releases,
Yeah.
So we will be watching Dexter. Do y'all want to try to get the Hawkeye in? Episode when we can.
They did a dual drop. So
I know
there are 2
episodes
up right now. I'm down. I'm
definitely going to watch it. I didn't know if
I'm invested for sure. It'd be cool if it's with the pod though.
Yeah.
If we don't watch it, I'll end up binge watching it. It kind of makes it harder to talk about when you binge something like, because it all runs together. But
yeah, I'll try to get caught up on it. I'll do what I do when I do what I do.
We don't have to do both episodes.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
we'll
true.
just talk about one.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter if we're delayed.
Yeah, and then
that's fine with me.
That helps me get the series in.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, fucking Squid Game came out like August or September, and I just watched it like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
You know,
really, really badass cold opening.
Okay.
Like, you'll be satisfied whenever you start seeing the title credits, you're like, cool. And then by the next episode movie, that's what it feels like. By the next episode, once they establish what the season arc's gonna be about, you're like, okay, that's cool too.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it, man. Die Hard, Hawkeye, Dexter.
Let's go.
Let's
I'm gonna
go.
watch fucking Die Hard in 4K.
Yeah, me too, right? I bought the Die Hard box set, Blu-ray. Got all of them in it. Even I think Die Hard, the one with it's got 5. It's got all 5 of them in there.
Yeah,
that's right.
Die Harder.
And also watch, try to cram it in there when you can. Watch The Wheel of Time.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get on that as well. There's just too much good shit that's releasing.
It's a really great little season of TV that's going on right now. I'm happy with it.
Hell yeah.
Even old Star Trek started back up, and it's not bad. It's Star Trek.
Hell yeah. Hell fuck yeah.
Next week, Die
Let's
Hard.
do it. Yeah, let's do it.